Okay, welcome back to Desi Dinners. Today we are making Ganji. Ganji is a traditional kind of soup or porridge. It has a lot of different recipes in different cultures, so this is the way I'm making it. This is my grandmother's recipe, and my dad has made it for me many times when I was sick. It's winter right now, so that's what we're making today. I will be showing you the ingredients. Here we have chili powder, turmeric, cumin powder, garam masala, coriander powder, salt, oil, Japatri, which is a leaf from the nutmeg tree, cloves, star anise, cardamon, bay leaves, and cinnamon, a lime or a lemon, some crushed rice, pulled chicken or shredded, some mint leaves, green chilies, coriander, tomatoes, and an onion, and then also some ginger garlic paste, and some yogurt. Okay, first up is we're gonna chop our tomatoes, onions, coriander, and our green chilies. Put these into kind of small pieces. Tomatoes you can leave a little bit chunky. I like them a little bit chunky. Small pieces work as well. So I'll come back once all of these are cut. Now we're gonna start cooking. I have my pot on the stove. We're gonna turn this on a low to medium heat. And the first thing I'm gonna do is put in some oil and let it get hot. All right. So now we're gonna put in our aromatics. So our bay leaf, cinnamon, cardamom, star anise, nutmeg leaf, and the cloves. So all this is gonna go in there until you can smell like the aroma of it. So I'm just gonna roll that around in there. Okay, and next we're gonna put in our chilies, and make sure you are careful because you don't want the oil to splash back at you. So. And then I'm gonna put the onion as well. Now that all of that is in our pot, I'm just gonna stir it up a little bit, and then I'm going to wait until the onions are a golden brown until we add the other stuff. So I'll come back once these are golden brown. What I'm actually gonna do right now is add a little bit of salt. This is just gonna help the onions cook just a little bit faster. So we will come back when it's golden brown. So now we're gonna add our mint leaves. These were frozen, so I just crushed them up. If they're not frozen, just cut them up. So I'm gonna add these in. And I'm gonna wait about 30 seconds. And so I'm gonna stir these first. But after about 30 seconds, we're gonna add in our ginger garlic paste. So now I'm gonna add in my ginger garlic paste. When you add this, you have to keep stirring, otherwise it's gonna burn at the bottom of your pan. So just keep stirring and be wary. I've been stirring for about a minute. Now I'm gonna leave it for another 30 to 60 seconds, just to like let it marinate around kind of. So I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute. Now I'm gonna add in my tomatoes. If there was anything burnt at the bottom, it's probably gonna come off with the tomatoes because of the juice. So I'm gonna add that in and stir that for about 30 seconds to a minute again. I'm gonna like try to get at the bottom of the pan for that ginger garlic paste, but just stir that up until it softens. I've been stirring for about a minute and I just put the lid on top. So this is gonna let the tomatoes cook better. So I'm gonna leave that in there until they soften and then put in our next ingredient. It's been about a minute now, and this consistency is what we want. It's kind of a soft, mushy texture. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add in our yogurt and our spices. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that in along with the rest of our spices. I'm gonna mix that up first actually, just so that the yogurt doesn't burn or anything. And then I'm gonna add in the rest of my spices. Okay, so now I'm just gonna mix all of this up now, and then we're gonna let it simmer for another minute so all the spices really get infused. I just mixed everything and I'm keeping it with the lid on. Now we're gonna add half of our coriander that we cut up in this, and then our shredded chicken. So yeah, put that in and stir that up. So you don't have to cook another batch of chicken for this. You can use the leftover chicken in your fridge. Okay, so my mixture was actually getting a little bit thick, so I added more water to it. You kind of want it to be a little bit more loose, not like dough. Now I'm gonna let this cook for about 2 to 2.5 minutes. So I'm just gonna put that lid on, leave it. I'm gonna be adding water. This mixture in here is basically a concentrate, so I'm gonna add 2 liters of water. I like mine a little bit more on the soupy side, so that's how much I'm gonna add, but add how much it is for your preference. second liter going in. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. Can't really tell what I'm doing because it's covered by water, but I'm just trying to get everything off of the bottom and try to mix it into the liquid. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until this is brought to a boiling point, and then I'm gonna add in our crushed rice. Now we're gonna add in our crushed rice. I'm just gonna put that in here. Our soup is boiling, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it in there. And then I'm gonna let it sit so that the rice can cook. My rice is fully cooked. It's been about 10 minutes. If yours needs to cook, put it in for longer. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna squeeze in my lemon juice, lime juice, whatever you have in the fridge, really doesn't matter. Squeezing that all in. Second half, kind of bad at squeezing lemons, but ignore that. So there's that. And then I'm going to add some dried coconut powder. This is optional. This is more of a topping, but I'm just gonna go ahead and add it in for me. I'm gonna add in the rest of our coriander. You can see it's kind of got a nice creamy texture. So I'm just gonna keep on mixing, and this is so good in the winter. This is a time where you just test to see if your broth is seasoned well enough, so I'm gonna try it really quick. I think you could use some more salt, so I'm just gonna add this much. Just sprinkle that in. So we're gonna mix that. I'm gonna taste it again. So I'm gonna take it from the bottom just because that's where all the spices will be. It is finally done, so I'm gonna plate it in this little mug of mine. It's my soup cup. I'm just gonna fill this up. And I always like to get more mint because that's my favorite part of this. The mint and the onions, they bring out the most flavor. All right, and now I top this off with something called bundi. It's basically fried batter. This is optional. It just adds some crunch. You can buy this at the Indian store. This is Ganji. You can eat this during the winter, or if you're sick, that's typically when I eat it. So let's taste it. All right, gonna mix that a little bit. It's hot. Okay, let's taste it. 10 out of 10. So that's all for Ganji. Goodbye. Thank you. Come back and watch the next Desi diner video. Thank you.